I squeezed the problems together to make it on 2 pages. So there's not enough room to do the problems. And Google Classroom, yeah, so. You guys are pretty demanding. Let's see, I have x minus 7. What are we supposed to do here? It says identify the center and radius. Well, that's easy. So the center is going to be opposite the sign, which is 7 and negative 8. And the radius is the square root of 16. Oh, got it right here. Well, that's all right. Square root of 16, which is 4. What else we got? Want me to do the odds? You do the evens? Sounds wonderful. So this is 7 and negative 8. Radius of 4. Number 3. Write an equation for a circle that is centered at negative 1, 5 and has a radius length of 6. Well, that's easy. Opposite the sign. So x plus 1 and y minus 5. And I have 6 squared. Or you can put 36. I don't care. Yes, ma'am. Ah, isn't that sweet? Oh, isn't that sweet? All right, number 5. Let's see. Rewrite the circle in standard form by completing the square twice. Oh, it's one of those funner problems. Now, do you guys want me to show you every step, or do you want every step? Okay, every step. Let's see, for the x's, it's b divided by 2 squared. My b is positive 8 divided by 2 squared is 4 squared, which is 16. My y's. See, my b is 32 divided by 2 squared is 16 squared, which equals 256. And we have to add 256 over here and 16 over here. Now that I have perfect square trinomials, I can put them in factored form. Let's see, I have x plus 4 squared plus y plus 16. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to put it there. Okay, so x plus 4 squared y plus 16 squared equals, let's see, negative 271 plus, is it 1? And what are we doing? That's it. We don't have to identify the circle. So there's my answer. No. You know, that's a good question. That's a really good question. Guys, quiet out. Let's go back and think about all the formulas we did, okay? The first one we did was vertex form, right? Where we had y equals a x minus h absolute value, right? Plus k. And our vertex here was the opposite sign of h, but the same sign of k. Then we did growth and decay, was it? Can't remember what we did next. we did quadratic form. And our vertex again was HK. Then we did exponential form, right? So we had, I think we did exponential form. A to the x minus h plus k. Can we do that? I think we did that too. And then we did circles, right? Y equals x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Now, every time we stated the h, okay, this is why. Every time we stated what the h was, it was always the opposite sign inside our symbols, whether it's absolute values, parentheses, even in our exponent, it was opposite h, okay? Anything that's in a math symbol, absolute value, parentheses, 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 it's always opposite sign. Anything that's not in the math symbol, right, so we always use the opposite sign. Now, outside the math symbols, our case, right? No math symbol, no math symbol, no math symbol. This one does, that's why we had to use the opposite sign. But these were the same sign. Okay? Remember, we moved up K. If it was a minus, it would be down K. So that's why both of them are opposite signs in the general circle, because they both have parentheses. And it works like that. That pattern works like forever with all different kinds of math equations. I'm trying to make it easy for you to remember. Instead of telling you what the real reason is, because you'll get confused and sorry. Actually, I'm not. I tried. All right, number 7. Yes. It's always going to come out positive to square it. But the reason why I like to use the negative sign with it, so it helps me when I go put it in parentheses, that I carry that negative sign with. You don't have to, but it helps remember putting the negative sign finally. All right, number 7. Let's see, what are we supposed to do? Factor. Oh, that's easy. Only way to get x squared is x times x. Here I have a minus. One's got to be positive, one's got to be negative. What are the factors of 36? Well, let's see. 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9. And since one's positive, one's negative, that means I subtract them to get 5. So 9 and 4. Very good. Which one's positive? Good. So I want negative 5. So set each one of these equal to 0. And what's x? Yeah, negative 4. This one's easy. It's just opposite signs. What about number 9? This one's easy too. Why is it easy? Difference of squares. I know where you're going. This is 11 squared x squared minus 6 squared. So put the base in there. I have 11x plus 6, 11x minus 6. Now this one you might have to do off some side work here. Set each one of these equal to 0. Okay, let's see, subtract 6, subtract 6. I get 11x equals negative 6, divide by 11, divide by 11, and what does x equal? Negative 6/11. And yeah, it would just be positive 6/11. Thanks. I was waiting for somebody to say that. 11. I'd say 80% of you are still having trouble with this type of problem. What's on your yellow chart, which you can use on the test tomorrow? No, no cheating. Nope. Cheating. Absolutely, every last one of them cheated. Because I don't want you guys to, pass my course. It's so sad. It is. How is, let me ask you, how is, you know what a quiz and test does, right? What its purpose? It's to, no, it's not your understanding. You've already understood it. That's what you do with your homework and practice work. The purpose of a quiz or a test is for you guys to tell me what you have learned. And if you're using notes or, example problems, it's just, I'm old school and you should know how to do this on a quiz or a test. More on a test than a quiz. I could see using notes on a quiz, but yeah. Right, because all your practice work is done. All your learning has done already. See, the problem with that is when you guys use like your notes and stuff on quizzes and tests and whatnot, when it comes time to SAT scores and stuff, guess what happens? Well, hopefully you're doing. Oh, no, you're not on SAT. Not my college, they didn't. Um, I'm just when you're at a job and you're getting promotions because you know the stuff, you'll thank me. That's because they're not degreed. If you go to a degreed, if you, but they know where to go because they have that knowledge, the basic knowledge. Doctors do not use Google to fix you. Okay? They don't. No. No. Doctors do not use Google to fix you. I can't even argue with a thought like that, with a process like that. Anyway, you can't just go online and have things solved for you. Because I said so. You can't use notes on it. I don't believe in it. This is part of your learning process. This is the end of your learning process. The review before the quiz. You've already learned this through your homework and all the extra tutoring that you came in for and all the help that you got. Well, then don't fill it out. It's your option. again, I can't argue something that's illogical. Okay, it's yes, it is. So let's continue on. Number 11. What's the first thing I have to do? Take out a 5. Anything else? I can take out an x. I'm left with x plus 2. Each one of those equal to 0. And what is my, I think the stuff's on the back. So what is my x equal? Divide by 5, x equals 0. Subtract 2, negative 2. Number 13. Solve by square rooting. This is where you guys had to simplify the underneath the radical. Remember that? Remember? You're going to use your yellow flowchart, which has the perfect squares on it. What's the largest perfect square? What's the largest perfect square that's a factor of 72? Well, I highly suggest writing out your factors. 1 times 72, 2 times 36, 3 times 24. Let's see, 4 goes into 72, right? 4 times, let's see, 1, 18. 5, 6 go into 72? Yes. 6 and 12. 7, 8, and 9. I think that's it. Okay, look at all those factors. Which ones are perfect squares? 36 is a perfect square. 4, 9. Any others? What's the highest one? 36. We're going to use these factors. 2 times 36. Okay, have my x because the square root cancels that out. Don't forget your plus and minus. Let's see, square root of 2 times the square root of 36. And we can take the square root of 36, right, which is 6. Don't forget the square root of 2. Okay, what am I doing now? Number 15. Have to get the x squared by itself. So I'm going to divide by 2 first. I get x squared equals 24. Have to take the square root of both sides. Again, going to have to find the largest perfect square that's a factor 24. 2 and 12, 3 and 4. No, not 3 and 4. 3 and 8. 6 and 4. See my perfect squares? I only have 1, right? I have to use 6 and 4. So it cancels out. I get x equals plus or minus square root of 4 times the square root of 6, which equals plus or minus 2 square root of 6. $17. Here I have to subtract 1 first. So I get 2x squared equals 26. Divide by 2. I get x squared equals 13. Ooh, 13 is a prime number. We don't have to simplify it. Square root both sides. So x equals plus or minus square root of 13. $19, I have to solve for x. Got to get the parentheses by itself. So I'm going to divide by 4 first. See, I get x minus 2 squared equals 5. Now I have to square root both sides. And I get x squared. I'm sorry, x minus 2 equals plus or minus square root of 5. Then add 2 to both sides. And remember, the 2 goes in front, right? The whole number or integer goes in front. So I get x equals 2 plus or minus square root of 5. Okay, 21, they're breaking down, making the perfect square trinomial. All you're doing here is you're taking that b divided by 2 squared. That's our c. Okay? So I'm going to take 20 divided by 2 squared, which is 10 squared, which is 100. Oh, now they want it in factored form. Wonderful. Well, we have a positive 10, right? We have x plus 10. Remember the base? $23. Solve by completing the square. What we did yesterday, right? Last couple days. We take half a b, negative 10 divided by 2 squared, negative 5 squared, which is 25. So I have, and then I have to subtract 8, remember? So I have x, I'm going to do the shortcut thing, minus 5 squared. We're adding 25 to both sides. I have negative 8 plus 25. Not sure what they're looking for here. I don't know. I guess they want it in vertex form, maybe. Negative 8 plus 25 is 17. So I have x minus 5 squared equals 17. Then we're supposed to subtract 17. So I have x minus 5 squared minus 17 equals 0. Oh, I know what they want. They want, I'm sorry, that's vertex form. They want to solve for x. My fault. So when you're at this step, square root both sides, right? So x minus 5 equals plus or minus square root of 17. And then add 5 to both sides. They want x by itself. My fault. So I get x equals 5 plus or minus 7, square root of 17. That's as far as I can go. So this would be vertex form if they asked for it. Then that's solving. Hey, look at the next question. Write it in vertex form. Subtract 3, subtract 3. I get y minus 3 equals, oh, we're going to add a perfect square, equals x squared plus 4x plus a perfect square. Half of b, well, my b is positive 4 divided by 2 squared, which is 4. So I have y plus 1 equals x plus 2 squared, and then subtract 1 from both sides, and we get vertex. Y is going to equal x plus 2 squared minus. So you guys can do the evens. Any questions? No questions? Just why don't you work on the evens, and if you have questions, I'll come around and help you.